Hello and welcome to the Business Window podcast with me, Tumaole Mohlaoli. And of course, this is your one-stop go-to area for everything business related here in the Free State and in time beyond. Now, we decided to go outside the window today to bring you what is the 5th annual wine tasting event here at the Dinkoeng Adventure Campsite. This is high up in the mountains of the northeastern Free State, Futadichaba Township, in the village of Mononsa. Now, this is a campsite with a difference, because this is a campsite where you can glam, where you can get your nails and facials done, where there's adventure galore, including quad biking and horse racing. Horse riding, I do beg your pardon. But what we're here for is, of course, the deco, the wine, and the lifestyle. Let us speak to the corporate sponsors who have made this particular event possible. To start off, of course, you can see that the branding is one of the big things. ABSA has been one of the corporate sponsors that have shown support to this particular event. And of course, this event is to, apart from getting people to network and people to enjoy the fine wine and dining experience, as well as the nature and the spectacular views here at Dinkoeng Tented Camp and Adventure Site, it's also about networking and growing business links. Let us now see one of the representatives from ABSA. So can you please identify yourself for our records?
Good morning, guys. It's Prince Mato from ABSA. Basically, it's ABSA SMME, which are small businesses. You know, we have realized that over time we've supported commercial clients, but now we have decided to take this ABSA to the Kasi vibes. You know, all the businesses that are at your townships. You can mention them, townships, whatever, be it a club, be it a guest house, you know, we are here to support. And we support our clients and do all sponsorships to our clients. And yeah, I mean, we do more so that our clients can prosper. So, whatever that can think of, from growing your businesses and everything, absolutely that.
Right, wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Mato. And as you've heard yourself, ABSA being one of the commercial sponsors, being a banking institution that is all about SMMEs. And of course, the buzzword is all about the township economy. And the township economy has now lifted itself and gone up to the escarpment. Now, moving along here, this is a wine tasting event. And we are just going to meet some of those that are, of course, displaying their fine way when it comes to the grapes. And we will now meet one of the service providers. That is Mela. How are you? We said to our audience.
From Lanzef Wines. Our wines are based and coming from the Northern Cape in the Douglas area. This is a result of a marriage, very, very interesting marriage that came in between Sim Processing and GWK. GWK being the second biggest corporation. I mean, that would be interesting to know of how the two extremes come together and they came to the birth of this wonderful brand that is Lanzef Wine. Very old brand from 1975. Lanzef being the German surname, but also added into the brand was Confluence Wines, which is made from the same makeup of Lanzef, and also having brought a very new brand of boxed wines, high quality boxed wines. That is out now in the market. Good resuscitation that's going through with our first listing with Norman Goodfellas and other corporate listing that are coming in very soon.
Very, very impressive growth. And of course, earlier we spoke to a representative from ABSA. It's perhaps quite incidental that they're also here. They also have a history with you. Can you tell us a bit more about that as an SMME and how their involvement has helped you to grow to reach where you are?
Yes, sure. We actually were excited to see them here. Your invite, Yako Dinkoeng, It come a long way, our relationship with ABSA, them being our first corporate client in 2013 through their SED programs that we got to be born out of that program, and today here we are co-exhibiting with them, and to us was very interesting and wonderful experience, having been born from this experience and went up to the level of corporate. I mean, any relationship you do with a corporate of second corporacy, I mean, if you know the corporacy history in this country, that's a wonderful experience. So we're very excited, and I must maybe take this opportunity for them. Maybe they don't even know that they were our first corporate client, and maybe I don't know if they thought they were wasting anything. Maybe this is evidence that they were not. Maybe they should add it, multiply it to any other person as well. They can be bigger than what we have today.
And talking about bigger than what you have today, this is very impressive setup. And of course, we are going to encourage everyone to sample and make sure that this brand is their brand of choice when it comes to the grapes and the finer things when it comes to wine. And of course, as always, responsible consumption of alcohol is the way to go it. And they encourage that message. But let's talk about the issue of the business growth and what made you want to get into this space.
Actually, it's like you're asking us on our way from Joburg to the area. We were having the same conversation, very serious conversation, I must say. At times we have people that confuse the entry levels or the entry points in any business. For example, we were saying people will always associate the wine business and the wine industry with glamour and prestige and so forth. And they tend to confuse us that we say we were entered into this business for the business of wine. The business of wine, one could tell the nature of the relationship. It's two extremes. I mean, I don't want to go on record, but if you have got the corporation and us coming together, this is a very beautiful marriage. I mean, if you know the ethos of the late Nelson Mandela, you will see this is actually happening in real terms. And also, not only is the growth in terms of organic, but it's growth even beyond, because this is one industry that gives you access to other corporate and other high-end industry. So you take comfort to say your growth level 2, it's not going to get to a point of level 2. It's got to stand a very good chance of going even beyond. Not only that, beyond that, you also are feeding back to the community that we're coming from. One, it builds confidence to the guys that come behind us. Secondly, it transforms the nature how we do the business in the country in a manner that the guys that come behind us will be more comfortable, will be more in an environment that they succeed easier. So for us, it's exciting in that sense as well, beyond the rands and cents of the business.
Makes absolute sense beyond the rands and cents. And talking about beyond the rands and cents of the business, what are your ambitions for your business? You've come a very long way, and judging by what I see, it is absolutely very impressive. And your story itself, I'm sure, will inspire those who are watching and those who plan to enter this market that is not so common to the what we call it previously disadvantaged black market. As a pioneer, what is your vision for your brand?
First, maybe to tell the truth, I'm very in love with money, so I love money. So that's the first point. But beyond the money part of it, it's for us to get into we are very young as a country in the transformation space. But it gives and you wish that we all could move away from being at the peripheral end. If you look at this transaction, it's right at the primary end. Through this transaction, we've got now co-ownership of land. We've got co-ownership of the plant. We've got co-ownership of an old brand, 1975 brand. And you can see evident we're doing it ourselves. We're doing it ourselves. I mean, if you go through my colleagues, you'll see even the depth of knowledge is far more than that I have. But this is stuff that we have. And these are the only things personally I believe when they succeed, everybody starts to believe. When everybody starts to believe, we all moving from the periphery, from the secondary. Now we start moving on the primary. And that's where real ownership comes in. That's where we can manage, we can own, we can control. And that's what this country needs, I must be honest. I mean, with such partners who have got so much confidence, and if I can give you the history of this thing, the first agreement was signed in Stellenbosch. I don't know if it was deliberate when the guys invited me in there, but to me it was a sense of them showing confidence in the patience that they had for us. Very, very extraordinary patience. So with those coming together, adding up those numbers together, I think that's what this country needs. And for us at my age, 51 years old, you've seen that impact. That's what wants. If you want to leave legacy, I mean, rands and cents are rands and cents. But if there's anything about legacy, it's a legacy that one wants to leave behind.
And you raise a very important point about the partnership and what people would term as the BEE agreement. It's about empowerment, but I guess that you are turning the page, because BEE used to have a very negative connotation, particularly in the recent history. But with this partnership, it seems as if really beneficiation is the way to go. Now, going forward, would you see yourself playing in that space as well? Would you encourage young players, people perhaps who have a passion for wine but don't know how to get into the sector? Would you encourage them to try and seek partners and to take the leap of faith you did?
Definitely yes. Definitely yes, Tumaole. If I mean, you spoke about BEE. At the moment, it carries so much negativity. Part of which is true, evidently it's true that those negativities it has built. But it cannot be up to anyone else other than myself as Generation X. It can only be up to me to show the way. It can be up to me that you can show. I always talk to people, I always tell people, it's through simplicity, the way we put our personal lives, that we thrive for simplicity, simple things, quality stuff, classic stuff, compared to the flamboyancy that goes through, because it eats out on the growth. When you go on flamboyancy and you don't have, it eats out on the strength that you have. When that strength is gone, your influence, it gets diluted and you get attacked easily. That's why people can now attack BE so easily, because it's through us being, us including myself personally, being irresponsible with some transactions. I mean, if you check us the whole of last week were in Sentin Convention, all my colleagues from Douglas. If you can see the color mix that we had last week, the whole of last week up to rugby. And this week you see us in there. That's the strength of the influence that we can build in trying to influence the space, that people can begin to trust the BE, that people can begin to see the organic impact that BE could have. And that's when people trust you, that they open up the space at the primary level right up to production level, and that's what we need for this in this country.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk more about the actual product itself. I can see you're very knowledgeable, very passionate.
Yes.
Take us through your team, introduce us, and let us know what we need to know about the product.
This is okay. This is what some of my colleagues, not my colleagues, some of my colleagues, table. If you have got the whole thing, if you want to have a storytelling, you will have it. If you want the bubbly, you know, we've got that film. When our film bubbles, that she comes in between. So you can see there's a bit of a corporate sense. You can see there's a product sense, but you also could see there is humanity sense in terms of talking to people, in terms of people, and that to me personally brings a very nice vibe. But I'm sure the guys can speak for themselves.
Wonderful. And over to you.
Thanks to Mila and Tavane. Thanks for having us, guys. What I want to say about your brand is it's so simple. Number one, we are very unique. We are so authentic because of the region, because of the climate where we come from, the subsoil that we have that's making our wines. We've got a sublime soil. which enhances our fruitiness, our fruity taste on our wines. We've got a variety of grapes. We've got like other grapes that other regions they can't have. That's what I'm so excited about everything when it comes to our wine. And then the climate and the region that we are is in Northern Cape, as we heard with Mr. Kwame when he said. It's far away from the other wine hubs that we know of. So most of the people, they say there is too dry, and then Lanzef has proven them wrong. Most of the wineries, they say they can't make red wines there, so Lanzef has proven them wrong. Hence, we've got also red wines that are keeping winning awards, Veritas Awards, all the awards that we're going to. We're getting all the awards, gold, silver, and platinum awards that we have. So we've got like a superb wine or a grape that I can tell you about. That none, or I would say it's rare. Not only just one grape, it's rarest grape, which is called Tanat. So in our region, luckily we can plant such grape. We can plant such a grape that is called Petit Verdot, which is 100% Petit Verdot. So there's no mixture of any, we don't do any blend just to make a wine and then to put it on the shelf in a way of making these rents and cents you talk about earlier on.
Right.
So with our wine, we took a right and a perfect time in preparing and in doing it up until to the final stage of bottling everything. So I'm grateful about Mr. Mkwane and the team for having me. At first, I was the guy who wants to be on wine or on beer, winery or plants, just to have a sense of drinking or knowing a little bit of it. But now with wine, I'm becoming too vast. Most of the people, they say, are you a winemaker? Because you know something that we don't even know about it. I say, no, it's just the passion and love that I have for the job that I'm doing. I'm grateful from that.
It really sounds that the passion is self-evident. It comes across. And tell us a bit more, maybe not giving away too much of your trade secrets. What goes into the process of making wine? Do you just grab the grapes, crush them, put them in a barrel, wait for them to ferment, or are there any particular speciality things that you have to do that influence the texture and of course even the feel and the smell of it?
Yes, from Lanzef I'll say that first thing is love and time that we've got on our side. Plus, as I said earlier on, the subsoil that we plant in our grapes or our cultivars, it's a lime subsoil. So that tells you the whole story. And then our plant, where is that? It's in the Douglas. So it's right opposite to or next to Orange River. So most of the plants that are being irrigated by Orange River water, most of the people will know that they are high quality. So you can't dispute or say something about that. Hence the new product that came in, which is our box wine, it says Confluence wine. So that's where we blend in. All the stuff comes in. So I'll get it over to my colleague, Stabile, to do the rest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Stabile, tell us where your specialty comes in and what more we can learn about this most amazing process and your role in it.
Okay, I'm Tumaole from Lanzef. As my colleagues have said, from Lanzef we've got all these varieties of our premium, of which the premium, what we do with it is because it doesn't have a cork. Yes, the blend, you usually have to check the wine. Then we've got our reserve, of which this is a Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a 2020. Then this one is got a cork. There's no difference, it's only that this is a cork, this is a premium that we have a spoon with. Okay. Based on these wines, all of them, because now we've got our own baby, that is Confluence. Confluence, here's the river, Val. It is Val River, Orange River, and there we are. That's why these babies come from this. What you get here in the dry red, in the dry white, is a combination of this, Chanel, and then Sauvignon Blanc. We also have 5 varieties of wines, of the boxed wines, that we've got dry red, dry white. It only comes with 3 liters. Then natural sweet rosé, we've got 5 liters, we've got 3 liters. Then we've got natural sweet red, that comes with 3 liters and 5 liters. Then we've got natural white, sweet white, of which is taken from here. Yes. Then we've got our own specialties of Flynn, 7 dogs, because our grapes naturally are sweet. Because of the climate, what we do is not a brut. It's more sweet, semi-sweet, and a bit of dryness.
Thank you very much. So there you have it. When you come out to the Dinkoeng annual wine tasting festival, if I can call it that, it's definitely a festival of ideas, a festival of business links, a festival of synergies, and you can expect it to sample some of the finest that can be brewed from the region, by those from the region, and those who have benefited greatly from partnerships, strategic partnerships with corporates like ABSA, who believe in SMMEs. And that's what the Business Window is all about, giving you a glimpse into what is happening to make this happen. Now, if we can move away from our wine stand, thank you very much. And we will be catching up and hopefully sampling some of your products soon.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
So as we make our way here, you can see that of course, with wine and fine dining, you have to have fine decor. And here at the Dinkoeng Tented Camp and Adventure, we have the space where people can enjoy themselves. As you can see that the space is here. It is, of course, a family-friendly environment. As you can see there, we have youngsters. They certainly will not be sampling any of the brew, but there's more than enough activity for them. There is exciting things like rock climbing, like quad biking, like, of course, horse riding, with this region being a mountainous region which neighbors, of course, several areas, including Lesotho. And we know that the Basotho are synonymous with horse riding. So the kiddies can have an exciting and wonderful time while the parents enjoy, of course, the fine dining as well as some of that fine wine. As we move away from this particular area, we will now make our way specifically towards some of the other corporate sponsors. You can see that some of the corporate sponsors that have come on board include car manufacturers, and here in shot you see clearly that the SUVs are the car of choice that is being promoted here. This is a very rugged terrain where we are right now. You have to climb up as you get into the escarpment here in the Northeastern Free State, and these vehicles are made for the job. But let's try and find one of the managers who can tell us a bit more about the vehicles themselves and why they felt it was important as a corporate sponsor to be part of this event. So I'm going to make my way, and here is the gentleman in question, and let's hear what he has to tell us as we approach. And Cherry, fun to drive. Let's hear about the brands that are here. Can you please identify yourself for a record?
My name is Mohlaoli from Bethlehem Multi Franchise, representing Cherry, Hyundai, Renault, and Kia. We are based in Bethlehem in the Eastern Free State, and here home at Kwakwa. It's one of the base where some of our clients are. So it's just for us to come back to them and say, here we are. As I stand like this, this is a brand new Cherry Turbo 8 Pro Max that is being introduced. As much as on my right hand side being the Grand i10 sedan. Most of us we are used to the Grand i10 being the hatchback, but now we have brought the sedan just for people to see. And when they want to holler us, they'll see this is the face that they will see every day when they need those vehicles.
Wonderful. And these vehicles certainly are made for the terrain. They look the good. And when you introduce the Cherry brand, this SUV, what do people expect from it in terms of performance, in terms of some of the comfort? Because people want a rugged vehicle, but when you're inside, they want some of the creature comforts.
Wow. What I can tell them inside the Cherry is that one thing for sure. In a Cherry, first and foremost, you are driving first class in the price of the economy. Inside Cherry, wow, the technology is wow. It's wow. If you want to see and say, that's why I said this is a mansion. It is a luxury. This is what you get inside here. It's what you can pay millions for it. But in a Cherry, it will be less than that. That's why I'm saying you are driving first class in the price of economy. And if the person understands when you are in the first class, what is the first class? Yes, it's wonderful, wonderful. Wow, all the things that he has said, they are there. The things that you can think of in the car, they are there. And most special about the Cherry is the engine warranty that most franchises have introduced. Cherry, the 10 years old, 1 million kilometer engine warranty, not the normal warranty, the engine warranty is inside the Cherry. So in a Cherry, it's there. From the entry level to the last level, all the plans that you need in the car, they are there. From the entry to the last. And with Cherry, prices from the entry to the end, they are just less than 700K. All of them, all the grades, they are there. You can sell all the derivatives, they are there. And as much as the Hyundai side, all the derivatives are there. From the Atos is out, you ship them out, you are starting the brand item, till to the Palisade. Till to the Palisade, all the brands are there. Come to the Kia side, Picanto, Kia Sorrento, they are there. Come into the Renault side, from your quit until the last number, they are all there.
Wow, that is very impressive. A range of vehicles and brands that you represent. Tell us a bit more about the market. We've seen here at Business Window, and perhaps when one looks at the overall transformation or changing of the market, that it seems as if the market, in terms of ownership patterns, is changing. Am I correct? Are we moving more towards ladies, moving towards SUVs, or becoming bigger players in terms of the buck, and as well as younger people?
Yeah, there. If you can change the landscape or whatsoever that South Africa has been offered, we are moving from the small, we can say the medium, the small and the medium market. It's kind of like having a challenge, but it's still there with the bank. But the bigger ones, SUVs, they're coming. They are coming with a bang. Everybody, even if it's a first car or whatsoever a car, it comes in with the SUV. It means that as South Africans, we have changed, mindset has shifted from being smaller cars, starting with the Tesla, starting with the whatsoever, the small car. Now we are going bigger and bigger and bigger. And it makes up that it's because of our landscape, our roots and everything. They play the factor onto the person who wants to purchase a car. And that's all that the people, they're bringing in onto the vehicle that they are on the market currently. When I talk basically more about Cherry, it's hardly 3 years in the country. Coming back, it was there before, and because of the market shares and whatsoever, be minimal on the workshops and whatsoever. Now we are all over South Africa. Cherries all over South Africa, and on the top 10, it's there. Each and every month, we find Cherry. This is a new baby that is going to kick so many cars into. You see, if there's the number one brands that we know, that we grew up with, that's all I can say.
Thank you very much for that. You've really opened our eyes and made us very interested. Perhaps one day I can look into your showroom floor and pick up something for myself.
Fun to drive and enjoyable. And there's a one that we call first impression last on the Cherry derivatives. There's a one on the 7 that we call first impression last. Come and have a test drive. Even now, when you are done, I'm for you.
Wonderful. I'm certainly looking forward to that, and I'll be giving you a report back about the Cherry's performance. But I think I've been sold, and I hope you have gotten all the information you need about this particular brand and others which are within that group, which you can get and enjoy. And of course, go and exploring, which is the whole point. You can bring it all the way up here to the escarpment, right at the top of the Free State, which would be, of course, the Dinkoeng Tented Camp and Adventure. And we are enjoying the 5th annual wine tasting event. As you can see behind me here, it is all glam and it is all 5-star family-centered fun. Come out, see it, enjoy it. Only believe it by being part of it. And of course, for more on this, join us and stay subscribed. Hit like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Business Window Magazine and podcast. Until next time, adios.